This video is different to previous. It's personal. In October 1942, my granddad, Albert Ramsey, sailed from Glasgow to Murmansk as part of the Russian Arctic convoys aboard the merchant vessel Empire Scott, a voyage dubbed the worst journey in the world by Sir Winston Churchill. But his journey, part of Operation FB, would be very different to any other. His ship sailed unescorted from Iceland to Murmansk and was only allowed to travel once the ultra codebreakers had determined German bombers had flown south to the Mediterranean in order to combat the Allied invasion of Africa. Ultra was the designation adopted by British intelligence for the breaking of German radio communications at Bletchley Park. Bletchley Park, now being a museum, I really wanted to know more about these codebreakers and how they helped keep my granddad alive.
Britain declares war. The great British public huddle around radios, listening to the news. They are preparing themselves in a very British fashion, watching and waiting and listening. A group of people that no one knows about or has even heard of is also listening. Listening to something quite different. The sound of secrecy. (1940). In Britain's cities, sirens wail. The bombs rain down. Day after day, the public wakes to find piles of rubble where once there were houses. In a little corner of Buckinghamshire, in a drafty makeshift hut, someone is writing down German bomber coordinates. That night, when the German bombers arrive, the RAF pounce.
Part of the museum's attraction is how you're taken back into the 1940s. A key element to the experience is learning about encryption and codebreaking. The Enigma used rotors and a plug board to scramble messages into unintelligible cipher texts. The rotors form the heart of the Enigma machine. A single rotor performs a simple substitution type of encryption, but by using several rotors in a series and a regular stepping movement of the rotors, this vastly increases the encryption. This is the basis of Enigma, and the learning experience is brought to life within the museum. The museum also houses the world's largest collection of Enigma machines, some of which have been altered. And of course, it wasn't just the Germans who wanted to encrypt military communications. The codebreakers used the crib method to decipher the messages. This requires identifying common words in the German messages. Once found, this could be used to determine the daily starting setting of an Enigma machine, and this would allow those messages to be decrypted. However, This was a very slow process. It wasn't until Alan Turing and Gordon Welchman developed the bomb. This massively speeded up the identification of the daily settings, so that the messages were still operationally relevant once decrypted. A number of huts were built as additional accommodation, and many of these have been restored, with perhaps the most famous being Hut 8, which, under the leadership of Turing, decrypted the German Navy crypts. Alan Turing and the Codebreakers are credited with shortening the war by at least 2 years, helping result in the Allied victory and saving an estimated 14 million lives, including Albert Ramsey. We had a great time at Bletchley Park and would thoroughly recommend a visit. I still have a lot more research to do into my Grandad's World War II adventures. And as we uncover the details of this will lead to more exploring for both of us and future videos. So if you want to keep up to date, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to share it so others can also enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.